There's a lot of games that are rated bad in Steam, but just a few of these games are actually popular, Overwatch being one of them. Before we begin, I would appreciate if you guys could actually subscribe to the channel. This helps me a lot and keeps me motivated to make these kind of videos. And yeah, anyways, I'm sorry for cutting you there. Let's keep going. But why is Overwatch rated as a bad game? Well, let's talk about it. Overwatch was released in 2016 by Blizzard Entertainment. At one point, the game had around 75,000 concurrent players, but as in 2024, currently the game sees very little player count. Why? So let's just break this down in three parts. One being why the game got popular at first, two, why the game is actually in such a bad state, and three, can they make it better? The game was released 8 years ago, we mentioned that. But why did the game get popular? Well, in 2016, we didn't have a lot of games to play. We obviously had like some good games like Battlefield, Uncharted 4, Doom, and a lot more. But there wasn't a game that was basically like Overwatch. When people found out about Overwatch, it grew their attention quickly, and they actually got hooked into the game very, very quickly. People loved the art style, like this kind of cartoonic art style of the game. People loved the hero's choice and everything. And the game was basically overall enjoyable. And in 2016, we didn't really have these kind of like team-based games until Overwatch came through and brought that kind of like category into the mix. So people loved the concept. There's a lot of things that people loved about Overwatch in 2016. We had that there were these heroes, and they still are, but in 2016, the heroes basically went to every player. So for example, if you're an attacking player, you had like choices for these heroes. But if you're like even a defensive player, there was also a category for you from some heroes. People love the accessibility of it, but I have to mention there's another thing that contributed to the rise of Overwatch to this day, and that has to be the porn videos. Let's be honest. Okay, fun fact, Overwatch is one of the most searched games. I believe it's number one actually for the most videos made on it on porn, which is crazy to me. I even have this chart here showing which characters are mostly used in these kind of videos. On one being Mercy, and then we have D.Va. So it's no surprise why the game is still searched to this day. Overwatch has like an 80% fan base that went from Overwatch to Overwatch 2, and they have a very loyal fan base. For new players, it's a bit difficult to start playing the game. For example, I wanted to give this game a shot like a couple of days ago. I went in and I thought it was going to be very simple, but as soon as I joined in, I had to make an account. No big deal, right? But this was a very long process and a very annoying process. Then I thought I was done, but apparently not. Oh, it asked me to add the number. I did that, I had my personal number, but again, there was an error that kept showing no matter what number I put. I tried temporary numbers, I tried other numbers from a family member, I tried from friends, everything. I tried my best to do this, still didn't work. It basically showed me you need to have a postpaid number, which a lot of people like, I don't know if you understand, but the mass popularity of the world actually have prepaid phone numbers, me being one of them. So for us, let's say for us, it's impossible to play the game without getting actually a phone number. The game claims it's to be free, but for you to play it, for some players, you need to have a postpaid number, which is basically a number where you get charged monthly for everything you do. Calls, messages, and everything like that. I've read a lot of reviews of the game, and one that I read basically perfectly talks about the state of the game. So, for example, they say here, they released Overwatch 2 as a free-to-play business model, which leans more heavily into microtransactions, overpriced skins, and predatory behavior. To make matters worse, they shut down the first game, make it unplayable for people who purchased it, meaning the player base has to move over to this free-to-play business model to keep playing the game. And you can find a lot of more reviews like these, people complaining about the game and everything, and I will leave this in the description below. You can check it out for yourself. If you didn't know, basically Overwatch 1 used to be bought with money. It was like 40 euros if I'm not mistaken, and Overwatch 2 is free. So anyone who purchased Overwatch 1 is basically all their money is gone. The only thing that has went from it is basically whatever you had there, like skins and shit, moved on to Overwatch 2. But can the game make a return? The game can definitely do it, I believe so, if they weren't so greedy. The game claims to be free, but upon joining the game, you'll get bombarded with skins, transactions and everything. And don't get me wrong, this is not the game's fault. There's a lot of games that actually do this, but Overwatch takes it to another whole level. They push everything into your face just so you can spend a little money on their game. And I believe they need to update the game even more, because one thing I saw people get annoyed about is the lack of update. And when they do update the game, it's not an interesting update to bring back the old fan base and make the game grow, basically. And one more thing, Blizzard, please, I beg of you, remove this post-paid kind of thing. And I did do some research and I figured out why they actually did this, is to prevent smurfs into the game. I'm no game developer, but there has to be a better way to stop smurfs than not allowing like 80% of the player base to not play. I just think that's stupid, to be honest. But what do you guys think? Do you think the game is gonna make any return? Do you think the game is dead? Do you think there has no chance of the game actually making a return? Please let me know down in the comments. What do you agree? What do you disagree with? I would love to see the game go back and actually give it a shot, because I used to play Overwatch 1 in a friend's account, and it was a fun game, you know? It was a very fun game. But, can't play today, let's be honest. But, yeah, I appreciate you guys joining here. Thank you so much. You have a beautiful one.